I'm Jordan. I'm an associate solicitor here at PD Law Solicitors based in Widnes. I'm the head of the private client department and I'm also a Dementia Friends ambassador as well. I'm here to talk to you today about lasting power of attorneys, basically just giving you a rundown of what they are and why it's important to make one. I'll also try and explain the benefits to you as well, and then if you need to, if you do want to make one, feel free to contact me and I can assist you as best as I can. A lasting power of attorney is a tool made by you when you have full mental capacity, and it allows you to nominate specifically who you want to assist you in life. This can be to assist you now or to assist you in the future when capacity is unfortunately lost. There are two different types of lasting power of attorneys, a health and welfare and property and financial affairs. Most people do make them both at the same time for convenience and ease. However, you can do one or the other, and they're self-explanatory. So, health and welfare, it's to nominate a person or a number of people to assist you with items such as, your doctors and things like that, and the property and financial, again, to aid you with your banking and things like that. Lots of clients come to me and the main question that we get asked is it too early to make a lasting power of attorney now? Should I wait till later life? And the answer is no. Now is the perfect time to make one. So you need to have full mental capacity in order to make a lasting power of attorney. And unfortunately, during the later years, that may be harder to prove. It's always best to make it as soon as possible. Again, you don't have to have your attorneys make decisions for you now. It can be later on in life once capacity is gone. So it's always best practice to get it in place now, and just safeguard your future self. There's countless benefits to having a lasting power of attorney in place. I'm going to talk you through a few of the main ones just to help you decide whether it's right for you. Now, the main positive that I see is that it's flexible. So you can make an ordinary power of attorney. However, this is just for a specific matter, and most often it needs to be replaced every 12 months, and it's also a costly process. By having a lasting power of attorney in the ways that I've previously mentioned, it's much more flexible as it covers a wide range of areas, and it's in place until you unfortunately pass away. So that's a real main benefit. Another great benefit of making a lasting power of attorney is that you have full control and the choice over who you wish to appoint to assist you. So the only restrictions are that the person needs to be over 18 years old, have full mental capacity themselves, and also be willing to undertake the role. So, you should make sure that you do ask them beforehand so they're fully aware and, fully okay to do this for you. A downside to if you weren't to have a lasting power of attorney and you did lose mental capacity, your family members could apply to the court for a deputyship, and this is a court of protection order. Now, the downside here is you do not get to nominate who you want to be your attorney and who you want to assist you. Obviously, the court will act in your best interests, but there's an element of trust and your decision that by making a lasting power of attorney, you're choosing who you want. So for instance, most people do choose to have a spouse or a partner. It could be a family friend or a neighbour as well. You really do have full control, so it can be someone who you fully trust and fully trust to undertake your needs. Another benefit of creating lasting power of attorneys is that you don't have to have the same people as your attorneys for the health and welfare and property and finance LPA. So you do have the ability to be a little bit flexible and choose different people for who you want to trust with different things. Now, I can point out that if you weren't to have a health and welfare LPA in place, the likelihood is that the court wouldn't appoint deputyship for this. The court would obviously deal with decisions on case-by-case basis, but they'd have no prior knowledge of your wishes. Whereas if you did have a lasting power of attorney for this in place, you may want to already have those conversations with the attorneys that you do appoint, and you can be, safe with the knowledge that what you want will be followed through. Another benefit of creating lasting power of attorneys is that you can specify instructions and preferences. So in terms of your instructions, these are strict rules that are binding for your attorneys to abide by. So for an example, if you were to create a property and finance lasting power of attorney and you wanted to specify that as an instruction that you don't want to sell a certain property because you're intending to pass that down to children, grandchildren, or whoever you choose, then you're fine to do that. In terms of preferences, you can leave preferences, which, it's not binding, but if you're the one that's leaving people in, you trust them to be your attorney, then, you can be hopeful and there's a great chance that they will follow through with that as well. We'd always recommend that you have multiple attorneys to assist you, basically just in case somebody's no longer able to act. It means that your power of attorney, isn't void, it's still live. So another great benefit of this is that you can dictate how you want your attorneys to act. So this can be jointly, where they'd have to all agree on the same decision-making process, and the outcome will be the same. Or you can do it where they can act independently, so each person could act on their own without needing prior authorization from the other attorney. Or it can be jointly and independently, so kind of a mixture of both. The benefit here is if somebody's away on a holiday and there's something urgent that's needed with a bill or banking or anything like that, they would still be able to act independently. And again, because you've appointed them, you know that you can trust them and they'll follow through with your wishes. Another great benefit of a lasting power of attorney is that you have the ability to instruct a provision for a replacement attorney. So you have your main attorneys that you're happy with, but then you can also put in a clause that if they're no longer able to or unwilling to, it just doesn't become void. There's a replacement there to step in and take their shoes. Now, a common question, as I mentioned before, is that, when should I make a lasting power of attorney? What if my attorney loses mental capacity? What happens then? The great benefit of a replacement is there's always someone there ready to step in and help you. So you've again got the added benefit that there's somebody there that you trust to replace your original attorneys, which again, it's a great tool. Another benefit of a lasting power of attorney is it can be put in place sooner and you have complete control of when you want to make your lasting power of attorney. Now, what I mean by this is if you don't have a lasting power of attorney in place and you're relying on your family to apply to the courts for a deputyship, this is a long drawn out process basically. It can take up to 12 months. It's extremely costly for the family. And you have the issue, whereas what happens for the 12 months between now and when it's awarded and approved by the courts. So for that year, you could be in limbo. For instance, there might be medical equipment that needs buying, and there's not going to be certainty there. Whereas if you have a lasting power of attorney in place, it's straight away, as soon as it's approved by the Office of Public Guardian, it's in place and ready to go. And expanding on that a little bit more, a lasting power of attorney is definitely the most cost-effective way for you to go about this. So if there was no lasting power of attorney in place and your family were to go down the court of protection route for a deputyship, there's an annual fee for that. There's also the cost of actually, appointing the deputyship. Whereas with a lasting power of attorney, you know up front what the cost is, you know what the registration fees are. As soon as it's awarded, there's no more costs. So that is all that you will have to pay. So that's definitely worth considering as well, whether to make it now or to, wait, and then you're in the unfortunate situation there then where, costs are going to be borne by family members and it's going to be, an annual thing, not just a one-off payment. Unfortunately, it does take time to actually register your lasting power of attorney, so it's not a quick overnight process. Once you instruct us, we will work as hard as we can to get the forms completed and sent out to you, or invite you in to review them and sign them and get everything sent off to the Office of Public Guardian. Now, here's where there's a little bit of a delay. So the Office of Public Guardian is taking about 20 weeks at the moment to have them set up and sent back to us. So it's really important that you get this up and running as soon as possible so that all the documents can be sent off and you've got that peace of mind then that everything's safeguarded as quickly as possible.